Welcome back to In the Can. We're going to be talking about the film Enemies of the People, and we have directors Rob Lemkin and Thet. I'm sorry, I didn't print
Sambath.
Sambath is what, that's your first name.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you both for coming in. We appreciate it.
Thank
and
you.
We were just talking about this is your first time seeing snow.
Yeah.
It's an amazing, amazing thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
And we've got a lot of it here in Park City. Lots of new things for you here at the Sundance Film Festival. Thank you for telling this story. It's an incredible story that you have discovered. You are experiencing new things here, but this film unlocks an entirely new world. And that's what a lot of people are saying. And I was reading your press information. It was saying that you were the first person to ever hear many of these stories that you tell in this documentary. Kind of tell for those people watching that aren't familiar with the film. Can you give us a synopsis of what this film is about?
Yeah, the story is really about Sambath and his quest to find out really what happened in his childhood. In his childhood in Cambodia, there was the Khmer Rouge came into power, and it was a terrible period, and it's known as the killing fields period, and maybe nearly 2 million people died in that period. Among those 2 million were Sambath's father, his mother, and his oldest brother. And he kind of spent the last 10 years or so trying to find out really what really happened, the truth of what happened, from the people who were kind of instrumental in destroying this childhood world that he had. No one's ever done that before. People have spoken to victims of the Khmer Rouge, but nobody's ever spoken to the Khmer Rouge themselves in a kind of an open and honest way. And through the way that he approached this subject over 10 years, he was able to get people's trust, the trust of, in fact, Pol Pot was the leader of the Khmer Rouge. Brother number 2 is the one who's the most senior surviving person, and brother number 2 is now in prison, but for 10 years before he was arrested, Sambath spent time with him, interviewed him, and was able to encourage him to tell the truth about all this stuff. And this is a kind of thing that has very rarely ever been done, and certainly in Cambodia hasn't been done at all.
Right. And you are a journalist. You write for the paper in Cambodia. And so you started out not intending to make a film, but to really gather these stories. And as you went along, you realized no one would believe these stories that you were able to tell because of your relationship with brother number 2. And that's how the film came to be, right? You ended up just getting a video camera as kind of proof that you were really having these conversations, right?
Yeah.
Can you kind of tell me about that process of making this into a film from something that was originally not going to be?
Yeah, at the beginning, as I had read many books about the Khmer regime, and then I am one of a victim, so it doesn't make me understand why they are killing, why many people will die and kill. That's why because of that, that's why it encouraged me. I tried to do by myself at the beginning. And then I had my partner at the beginning that we tried to make a book in English. And then I tried to investigate with the Khmer, talking, interview them in many different cadre, militia, and then to the top of Khmer leader, brother number 2.
Wow.
Yeah. And then after that, during that time, I also filmed by myself. At the beginning, I do not tell. I just told him that I asked to film him only for keep, in case that when he died, these evidence that what he's saying. That the beginning that I asked him. After I record him for long, and then I had changed that when I had contact with Rob Lemkin, we met each other in 2006, and then we turned to make a film, and then I had some old stuff, and then I asked brother number 2 that can I use what I had recorded you to make a film or not. So I need to ask his permission, and then he said, what I give to you, you can do anything up to you.
Wow.
And then we had turned this, cooperate with Rob Lemkin, and then we make a film together. Yeah.
It's unbelievable that he would grant such access. I mean, he's going on trial in 2011. Has this film been an integral part of that process?
Well, the film is just premiering here now in North America, but we have been requested by the court, by the prosecution and the investigating authorities of the court to deposit the film as evidence with them. But curiously enough, we've also been asked by the defense to also do that, because our film kind of goes beyond prosecution and defense. It goes to the real heart of what these people are really saying, what they thought they were doing, and actually what they did. So it kind of goes beyond the trial. But it certainly will be, I think, a very important, and this is what the court wants it to be, an important sort of piece of information and evidence that can be used at the trial.
And as he was just mentioning, you came on board in 2006 to help make the film. Were you just completely shocked by this story and the fact that he had gotten such access? How was this stepping into this world with him?
Yeah, because I came to make a film, to start making a film about the trial, which of course hasn't yet happened. And I realized that of the 2 or 3 people that were going to be on trial, brother number 2 was the only one that was significant. And the only way you could talk to him was with Sambath. So at the beginning, Sambath and I worked almost in a traditional producer-fixer kind of way. He was the fixer to go to see brother number 2. But with me there, brother number 2 said very little. And it was just the same old, oh, I don't know, what, killing fields, 1 million dead, I've never heard of it, I don't know what you're talking about, all these kind of denials. But I knew from the tapes that he had and from what we'd discussed that on There Alone, it was a completely different story. So we changed, and then I realized that we couldn't, we had no need really to make a film about the trial. This was a much more interesting, the relationship between Sambath and the old man, brother number 2, and the relationship between him and other killers that he's found is the real key to trying to unlock this sort of this terrible history. And that we decided to become equal partners in this project. We are co-directors of the film, and we worked together for the last 3 years. And immediately then, brother number 2 was able to open up and talk in a more, well, before he was arrested, of course, were able to open up and talk in a more open way when he knew that we were together as an equal joint kind of project.
And what is spending so much time with him? Why do you think he wanted to open up? What was it that he needed to tell a story? Why did he want to tell you?
I have tried to ask him many years. He never told me anything. But every week that I go to see him, I always encourage him. I have many ways how to talk to him, push him, but not force him. Just talk in many ways, in polite way, to tell him that if he didn't tell the story, and I know that Pol Pot already died, so only you, there are second person that know the Khmer Rouge history. If you don't tell me, so it means that the history 75, 79 is unknown. Yeah. So the people, many people is a victim, so you should tell in public, because you are old. You are already old, so you should tell everything. And then it depends on you when you want me to release the information after you die or before you die. It depends on you. This is my conversation with him. And then finally he still take more time to investigate me.
Wow.
Yeah, for many years. And then finally he decided, he told that. So
it's just an incredible
He believed
story.
in me, and then he asked me to ask him everything, and then he will answer. And then he used to tell me that he the second person, only Pol Pot and him, that know everything about the Khmer Rouge. And then after he told me everything, and then one day he told me that I am the third person who know the Khmer Rouge. And then it made me very surprised. And then I asked him so many more top Khmer Rouge leaders like Khieu Samphan or Ieng Sary. I asked him, what about Ieng Sary and Khieu Samphan? And then he said, no, these people doesn't know.
Just you know.
Just Pol Pot and me, and I am the third person. So it made me very excited
Yeah.
That's why I go every week
incredible.
to see him. Even at night time, I travel from Phnom Penh to the countryside. I still going on.
Wow. Let's take a quick look at a clip of the film. It's Enemies of the People. Take a look.
If I compare my work to the battlefield, I think I work more hard than in the battlefield, really. Go to work with Nunchia is not easy at all, very difficult. He's very secret man, very secret man. Go one time, doesn't know anything. Go next week, doesn't know anything. For 5 months, know nothing. For 1 year, nothing. And 2 years, nothing. So it's not easy to do the work like this. I told him that this is not for journalism. It is for history. But I never told him about my family at all.
A clip from Enemies of the People, and that was actually footage of Brother Number 2. A lot has been written about the killing fields, but never has this story been told, so it's just incredible. You know, a lot of people, when you expose this type of story or put someone who's responsible of killing so many people, some people may say, you know, that's glorifying it, you shouldn't be, you know, discussing it with him or putting him on a pedestal, which by no means do I think this film does. But how did you approach that with that sensitivity for the victims and making sure that this story did not seem, you know, like a second offense or something? Was that a concern of yours at all?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's important to remember that Sambath is a victim. So he's coming as a journalist, as a filmmaker, as it turns out, but he is a victim of the regime that was run by Brother Number 2. But I think what was important in this was that really, with terrible events like the ones that Brother Number 2 were involved with, it's so important to understand what the perpetrators go through, what is in their mind, why do they do what they do, and in fact, what do they do? Because quite often when terrible things happen, there's all sorts of misreporting and exaggeration and things that go on. And these things are not really very useful if you want to really understand A, what happened, and B, how to try and stop it in the future. So I think it was really the approach to Brother Number 2 and the approach to other killers who were in the film was very much from Sambath, and then supported by me, was very much if you tell us the truth, we will respect you. We respect you to tell the truth. I mean, you can't undo what you did.
Right.
You can't bring those people back to life. But the one thing you can do is tell the truth. Be as honest as you can. And I think, by and large, they pretty much were.
Wow, unbelievable. Well, definitely just a fantastic film. You definitely deserve to be here at Sundance, and thank you so much for coming in. Enjoy the snow.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, that was the directors for Enemies of the People. We will be back with more in the can right after this.